We have just finished the straw bale building workshop. It's only 7 days workshop, and then we have about 20 participants. And then actually it takes 7 days because of there's so many people come to do together, and we spend a lot of time on learning. But normally to do this kind of building, we don't need a lot of people. 3 to 5 people is the best number if you make the process of building very fast and very quick. And then this kind of building is very cheap and easy. Anybody can do this building. So straw bale is the easiest, fastest way of building a house. When we already have the plan or the design for the house, the next thing we have to do is to make the floor. The floor have to be concrete floor, and this is a rough floor. The height of the floor, the thickness of the floor is about 3 to 4 inches. This is the rough one, not the finished one. And then after that, we have to draw the line where the wall is going to be. And then we're going to make the frame to pour the foundation above the floor, because normal straw bale house, we always have problem with termites. So to make the foundation above the ground is very important, because it can prevent termites and water very well. What we use to make the frame for the foundation is the concrete blocks, because the foundation, we need it to be 8 inches height, and then the width of the foundation is about 50 centimeters or half a meter. That's the size of the straw bale. Use concrete block is very easy and convenient, because the height of the concrete block is the same size with the height that we want. And then we don't need to take it off, because when we pour the concrete in there, the concrete block's gonna stay there. And then we just plaster the outside of it. It will be very smooth and nice after that. So concrete block is quite cheap and easy to use. If we have to fill up with cement the whole thing, it will cost more money and use more cement. Instead of use cement the whole thing, we add sand in there. So sand gonna help to decrease the expense, and sand is easier to work with. We fill up with sand almost full. We leave the space about 3 inches. That's the size of the cement that we need to put in. It's not a lot of cement. The good thing of sand is not shrink and not expand when it's wet and it's dry. It's different from clay. If we use clay, when it's wet it expands a lot, but when it dry it shrink a lot. But sand is stable. It's the same shape all the time. So that's a good thing. So we use sand instead of soil or clay. The mixture of the cement that I use is 1 part of cement, 3 part of sand, and 3 part of rocks or gravels. So this is the normal recipe that we use for foundation or the floor. The cement that we use is Portland cement, normal Portland cement. If we don't have cement in some area that you cannot find the cement easily, you can use lime to replace cement. It's also okay. There are many ways to mix cement normally, but the way that we use is we mix 3 part of sand, 1 part of cement. Mix cement and sand together very well first, and then we can make the volcano, like make the pit in the middle and fill up with water. We just estimate roughly, not too much water. maybe just to fill up the pit. That's enough. It depends on the sand. If the sand is very wet, we use less water, and then we soak it, let it soak there until the cement and sand absorb water completely, and we start to mix it after that. So if we mix it immediately after we add water, it will be very hard to mix. But if we let it soak for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and then we mix it later after that, it will be a lot easier. After the sand and cement absorb water very well, we start to mix together after that. It will be easier to mix. And when we mix together very well, it will be very loose and it's easy to work, easy to mix. And then we add gravel or rocks in there. So we always add rock at the end. It will be easier to mix. After the cement was mixed well, we just put in the bucket and bring it to pour on top of the sand that we level already. So we use not very thick cement on the sand. It's maybe about 2 to 3 inches. That's the most we can do. And then before the cement dry, we need to cut a plastic the same size with the foundation. Is like about 50 centimeters the width, and put on top of the cement before it dry, because this plastic will be the protection of the straw bale, because this plastic will prevent the moisture from the ground to come up to the straw bale. And then we put the bamboo stick that we sharp the both ends of the stick, and then we just stick in the plastic. So this stick, it will be about 1 foot far apart. This stick will be stay in the cement forever, and then the sharp part will stick up. And then when we put the straw on top of it, we just push the straw bale on top of the stick, so the stick will hold the straw bale very well after that. This bamboo stick can be about 2 feet long, because one part of it can be in the cement and one part of it can use to hold the straw bale. We have to do like this all the way around. Wherever there's a foundation, we need to have plastic and put the stick in there like this, and then wet until it dry. It maybe take a few hours for the cement to be completely hard. When it's hard enough, we don't need to wait too long like a normal building, because the straw bale is quite light to put on top of it. It will not make the cement crack or break the cement at all. So when the cement is hard enough, we just bring the straw bale and then push the bale into the sharp bamboo that stick up on the foundation. Just push it. Before we push it, we need to make sure it's straight, and then push the bale in there. If it's not straight, pull it up and then push it back again to make it straight completely, because if it's not straight, you cannot fix it anymore after we go to the second layer. So the first layer, we need to make sure that it's completely straight, because normally we don't pull the line to make it straight. We just look it by eyeball normally. It will be easier and better if we have one people stand on the end of the corner, and then that person will help to look at it to tell us it's straight or not straight, because that person who stand on the edge of the wall, you can see it quite clear where it's go, where the straw bale turn to. So we just keep pushing in like this. The first layer, it maybe take a little bit of time to make sure it's straight, but the second layer will be a lot easier after that. When we come to the corner, sometimes it creates a big gap between the corner. So in this way, we can add more straw in there. We just cut the string from the another bell and take the straw to fill up there. To fill up this gap, we need to make sure that we push it very tight as we can, and then make it as straight as we can. So when we plaster, it will be easier after that. So because both side is tight already, we can add straw as tight as we can easily too. How to cut the bells to fill up the gap. Sometimes we have a big gap. It's good to cut the bell in half or any side that we want. What we need is the needle. We use bamboo, sharp one end and make a hole in another end. It will be like a needle. And then we can use the string that they tie the bell, put in the hole, and then we can push the needle through the bell and then tie it both sides. It can be 4 string to tie it, and then we can cut the 2 string that they have in the bell already, and after that we can pull it up. It will be 2 bells after that. We can split it easily in this way. During this process, we need to make sure that each string that we sew it in will not tie each other, because sometimes when it tie each other, we need to redo it again. And every time when we cut the string on the bell, it's good to cut at the knot, so we can use the string again easily. Because if we cut with the knot in the middle of the string, it's very hard to pull it through the bell. So be aware that whenever we cut the bell, we cut the string on the bell, we need to cut at the knot only. When we tie the string, it's good to make sure that it's very, very tight. It will not loose. So if we tie it tight, it will keep the tightness of the straw bale very well. After we finish the first layer of the bell, laying the bell, the first layer, the second layer, each bell have to be interlocked. Each bell that we put have to be above 2 bells at the bottom, always like that. And then when we put the bell all the way to the wall, and then we can check the straight of the wall, and then we can adjust it, make it straight as we can. And then after we make sure that it's totally straight, we can nail the bamboo to lock the bell on the second layer to the first layer. So we need to prepare quite a lot of bamboo stick. Every bell we need 2 of them. We keep building like this, it will go very fast. In one day, you can finish the whole building easily. And wherever it's going to be door or window, we put the lintel on top of it. Lintel can be any wood or metal to put on top, and then we put the bell on top of it. And then we can put the frame later on. When we build up to the height that we want to, The next thing is to make the roof structure. The roof of the straw bale house, normally we just put the beam on top of the wall and build up the roof on top of the wall directly. So just imagine easily like we make the roof structure from outside and we move it up to put on the wall. That's all. So it's very simple and easy. The roof of this building, the original idea, we want to make a living roof. Living roof means we can grow vegetable or have a garden on top of the roof. Because the straw bale is strong, very strong, it can hold living roof easily. But later on we change our mind. We want to make the floor for the second floor so we can use more space for living. So now we're gonna make the floor instead of the roof for this building. When we finish the structure for the roof or the floor, the next thing we need to do is we need to tie the beam that rests on the wall to the wall. Normally we use the PVC pipe, like small PVC pipe, and cut it the same size with the bale, and we can push this pipe under the bale, and then we can put the string through the pipe, and then we can tie this string to tie the beam to the wall, and then it will hold the wall, it will hold the beam connect to the wall very strong after that. This is the string that we tie the wall with the beam on top of the roof, and then after that we can plaster over the string. We can't see the string after that, so this string hold the beam very well. The way we tie the string to make it very tight, normally we just make a loop first, and then we put the string in there and pull it very tight. Sometimes we need maybe 2 or 3 people to help to pull it down like this, and then it will be very tight. After that we can tie it very well. After that it will not move at all. We can leave it like this, and then we just plaster over the string. You can't see the string anymore, and then the string will be hold the roof structure with the wall. It's very strong after that. How to plaster the straw bale is not easy like when we plaster with adobe bricks, because it's not easy for the mud to stick on the wall. So the first thing we need to use the very thin mud, like make it very liquidy, and then smear it on the wall first. It can be a very thin layer, don't need to do a lot, and then just smear it in there to make it wet with mud. And then after that you can go the second round with the normal plaster after that, and then you can make it as thick as you want after that. So remember that the mud will not stick to the straw very easy. We need to smear the very wet one first. When we plaster very thick, anywhere is very deep hole, we need to mix a lot of straw in the mud and then add it in more and more. So if we add enough straw in the plaster, it will not crack. It helps a lot, and then when it dry, it will be very nice after that. So when we build, it's always have somewhere it's very deep hole. Always add more straw in the mud first before we put on the wall. To plaster the second layer, it can be thick somewhere, it can be thick somewhere, it can be thin, it's okay. But if somewhere it's very deep hole, it's better to add a lot of mud in the hole and then add a lot of straw mixed with mud to cover the top part of it, and then it will not crack, and then it will be very strong after that. So to plaster the straw bale, it not too bad. Even it's harder than plaster the adobe bricks, but it's not too bad. We can go very fast if we mix with uh, a lot of straw in there. It'll be easier. So try to find the easiest technique. Don't try to attach to any theory. Just remember that if it's hard, it's wrong. Between the frame and the wall, it can have a gap there. So after we've set up with the door frame or the window frame, we can mix straw with mud and add it in to fill up the whole thing. And then you can show the frame as much as you want. So when you added enough mud and straw, when it dry, it will make the frame very strong. It can hold the frame very well. When we plaster, it's good to make it as smooth as we can, because after that we will wet until it totally dry. When it dry, we can paint on it. So when we paint, it will save a lot of paint if it's very smooth. If the surface is very rough, we use more paint than normal. When we do plastering, we can always do some artwork after that. So we can sculpture anything on the wall. It's okay. Even if you want to make it like a rock, like anything else, you can do whatever. So you can do whatever. You can do any artwork on the wall. After that, it will be very fun for people. If we want to make a living roof, this is finished. We just add more dirt and compost on top of the roof, and we can plant anything. We can make the garden on top of the roof. That's all. But when we change our mind, we can make the roof into the second floor so people can sleep up there. And then this is the building after we finish the paint. You can see more detail about clay paint in another video clip, so we can understand more about how to make clay. So I don't want to make this clip too long, so you can see more in the clay paint. This is the finish inside. We make this building to make a shop, a coffee shop, and the products. So we build this building from the workshop. It takes 2 days to finish the whole thing. But if we have only 3 or 4 people, it will be a lot faster than this because of we have workshop. So we need to spend a lot of time to talk, to explain to people. And then when we have more people, we need to manage people more. But the good amount of earthen building is 3 to 5 people. That is the best number of people.